so clear, my dear. Just like as if you were just round the corner.
Thank God for technology.
Yes, thank God. What's the population like over there?
About 1 million.
Ooh, 1 million. Wow, wow, wow. And you're on vacation or you reside there?
Well, my daughter lives here and I'm actually vacationing with her as she makes ready to go back to school.
Okay, good. Well, God bless you, my dear. Thanks for coming in. And we do trust and hope that you have safe travels. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So much.
Bye-bye.
All right. Any other visitors we have? Any other visitors? Yes, sir. Edward Johnson. Okay. Good. Brother Johnson, thank you so much for coming. Guest of Shelby Bryce, and we are so happy to have you here in person. So we have some guests in person. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
I also have another guest on, Jasmine Williams. Unfortunately, she can't open her mic because she's on a boat.
Okay, Jasmine Williams, well, welcome. We are happy to have you on a boat. And then I hope you're enjoying the beautiful waters of the Bahamas. They're so orange over on the seas. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, so we have another guest in the house.
Joshua Cartwright, guest of Shelby Bryce as well.
Joseph Cartwright is here, guest of Shelby Bryce. But in-house. Thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate your attendance today and all of you who have come to join us by way of either a guest or by being a fellow Rotarian. Okay, so we're moving on in the interest of time. So we have the Rotary movement. Are we going to have that up today, Sheila? Rotary movement video. Okay, so we're gonna play a video, a short video. And our technician behind the scene is Rotarian Sheila. She's held many hats in this club. And of course, now she is now the technician.
What I recommend is you gather a small group of your club members and list the type of businesses, vocations, and professions that are missing from your club. It could start with a commercial list of businesses or a Chamber of Commerce membership list or a book of lists. Most communities publish those annually. As this evolves to specific prospects in those businesses, focus on people with the same passion for service, not just position within the company. The best candidate for Rotary may not be the person who runs the business. What I recommend is you gather a small group of your club members. What I recommend is you gather a small group of your club members and.
Okay, I think we got the message, Sheila. Thanks so much. Good, beautiful, beautiful. That's our Rotary moment, and of course, you heard it. Just look around for persons who you believe can be a good fit for this club, and let's invite them. Let's invite them to our meetings. Okay, that's the only way we can grow. Okay, coming now to bring the secretary's update will be none other than Rotarian Felia. She'll come now with notices and correspondence.
Thank you, Rotarian Wayne. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I would like to advise that the Rotary Club of the Bahamas raffle is scheduled, it has been rescheduled for September 30th. And Rotarian Darren, he has the tickets for sale should you wish to purchase and win a lovely prize within the raffle. Also, Cat Island will be celebrating their first year anniversary. Round of applause. Okay. They will be celebrating it on Friday, August 26th through Sunday, August 28th. And we all can contact Rotarian Sheila, past President Sheila, for tickets. Sorry, for details with regard.
Go online and reserve that ticket at Western Air.
Okay.
I was just trying to collect numbers for Cat Island, but at the moment I only have 3 people confirmed.
Okay. Okay, so not a problem. So you can all go online, book tickets for Cat Island, should you wish to celebrate with them. And also, we'd like to advise that Rotary Club of Nassau is celebrating hosting our first social on August 23rd at 6:30 p.m. at 4 Walls on Village Road. So looking forward to an exciting evening with you all at our first social. And one moment for Rotarian Darren as he gives us more details on the raffle.
All right. Thank you, Felia. Good afternoon, everybody. This is a quick update. I do have tickets on sale and in-house today.
I'm unable to hear anything.
Lost the audio. We lost the audio.
Yeah, I can't hear anything either. Is Cat Island the last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the month?
Okay. Yeah.
26, 27, 20.
That's correct.
So do I carry on now? Okay, just very quickly again, in terms of the raffle sales, I do have the tickets here. And the idea really is not for me to sell you a single raffle ticket, but for you to buy an entire book and books. And so they are available today. My telephone number is in the chat group, but just for the purpose of the record, 427-4019. I'm making myself available to come either to your house or to your business place so you can get the raffle tickets. The idea really is that we do not return any of the books back to our COB. So once we have them in our possession, as we do, we have an obligation to sell all of them. And so I'm really trying to appeal to you, my fellow Rotarians, to really go and sell as many books as we possibly can. And as I mentioned, the prizes are extraordinary, but really and truly the idea behind the raffle is to provide educational programs for the youngsters in our country. So in addition to you receiving a wonderful gift, you're also going to be able to impart the gift of education and knowledge to those who are in need. So I'm really appealing to all of you today and throughout the course of the week to really come and get a raffle book to be able to aid in this wonderful cause. So that's really what's happening today. And thank you so much.
Darren, I say that since it's a course that all of us are part of, each person, each member should receive a book. I mean, that should be a given, you know. That's a given. That's a given. We have the directory, and everybody have a gift. A book. Put my book there for me, please. That's what you do. If you wait for people to come to you for the gift, for the book, they ain't coming. So you got to give everyone a book. The minimum should sell a book as being a member of the Rotary Club of Nassau. That's one of the perks you get, and privileges. Thanks so much. And moving straight on, talking money again. Let's welcome our treasurer, Treasurer Laverne. Okay, returning Laverne will now come. Sandra Laverne will come now, and she will update us.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm here. Oh, well. As you're aware, our RCN year 2022-2023 has commenced last month, July, and I'm pleased to advise that many of you have started paying towards your membership dues and fees and incidentals like your pins and all of these and shirts. And so it's coming in gradually, but I want to focus today on your membership dues because they would do in July just half of it. So if some of you have paid all of it, that's very good, and that's behind you now. But I'd recommend that you do, if it's more relaxed for you, pay the half. It's coming in now, so let me give you the procedure. First, you make your payment, and then you send the proof of payment directly to myself. I will go ahead and update your Club Runner account, and then you receive a new statement with your nil balance or your new balance on it too. And if you have any questions, you just go ahead and direct message me. Otherwise, all should be well, so that you could have a more relaxed Rotary year where you only have the half to worry about. And of course, the focus on other incidentals to make our club grow, which is, selling tickets and all of the things that make us amazing. So that'll be the Treasury report for today. Thank you so much, and keep them coming so that I can update your account and we can move forward with our beautiful club.
Thank you very much, Madam Treasurer. And now coming now would be Rotarian Lizette with membership, who will give us the membership update on the anniversaries and birthday celebration as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's always a pleasure to highlight our members. And so celebrating 4 years with Rotary on the 21st, Saturday the 21st, will be Rotarian Royanne Ford. I see that Royanne is online. Would you like to say anything briefly, Royanne?
Good afternoon. This is Royanne Ford.
And your Rotary journey? Your 4 years?
Yes, I have been a member of RCN. I think it's 5 years now. I tend to work in the background. I'm assisting sometimes with the Zoom and on club admin, assisting with sourcing speakers and meeting events of that type. So I'm more an administrative service person. But it's been an interesting journey. I'm very excited. The excitement continues to grow, especially under the leadership of President Chantal. She's been very energetic. So I'm looking forward to this year and years to come.
Excellent, excellent. And we are looking forward to continuing to work with you. And our birthday celebrants in the house is Rotarian Yvette, who will be, Yvette. Not in the house. Rotarian Gabrielle will be celebrating on the 18th, but in the house is Rotarian Yvette. Yvette will be celebrating on Monday, the 22nd. So let's wish them both a very happy birthday. Of our birthday jingle. Enjoy, Yvette. We will be looking forward to our cake.
Vocations and professions that are missing from your club. It could start with a commercial list of businesses.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. My birthday, come again. My birthday, come again. My birthday, come again. How old am I now? My birthday, come again. My birthday, come again. My birthday, come again. So I can party all.
Once again, happy birthday to our celebrants and happy anniversary. to Rotarian Royal.
Thank you very much, Lizette, for that membership update. Indeed, happy birthday to everybody celebrating. And now we're gonna just briefly take a break intermission for those of us who are in-house. We're eating some wonderful food. I mean, some people have their soup, some have their salad, some like me have the club salad, the club sandwich and so forth, and some have burgers. And so we're having a wonderful time here. So we're gonna have a little dine and wine while we're here for about 5 minutes. And those of you in Zoom land, I don't know. You choose to be in Zoom land, so I don't know what you have, but enjoy it for a couple of minutes, okay? So 5 minutes, we'll take a break and then we'll be back with you as we socialize here in person.
There's a flyer here. Speak to. I wanted.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. We had a wonderful time. And so we're back now to get started because we want to give our guest speaker the ample time to make his presentation. And so now, without further ado, coming now to introduce our guest speaker is none other than Rotarian Gina Marie. Gina Marie?
I'm here, Rotarian Wayne. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You're a bit down. Let's turn the volume up, please.
Can we turn the volume up just a smidge? So let's get started. Donovan Ingram has had a wide span of biological studies beginning at the College of the Bahamas with an Associate of Science degree in biology with chemistry. He continued his studies and obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in biology from Dalhousie University and a Master of Science in Applied Human Nutrition at Oxford Brookes University. Prior to attending his Master of Science in Applied Human Nutrition, Don spent 4 years. It was then that he realized that a large part of nutrition is caused by behavioral changes. This realization led him to focus his biological skills around behavioral changes as it relates to food management and choices. Donovan continued to be exposed to the culinary world through his collaborations.
Hi, Gina. She's still mute. Hi, Gina, we lost you. Hi, Gina. Anyone on the call could hear us? Maybe this call.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, we lost Gina. Sorry, unfortunately, we lost Gina, who had a well-written bio of our guest speaker. Nonetheless, we heard that he is very, very knowledgeable in corporate wellness and management. So, ladies and gentlemen and Rotarians, help me welcome our guest speaker as he comes now and teaches us and lectures us about the wellness management and health and well-being during the summer heat. I think it's a very timely topic. And so please, let's welcome him as he comes and make his presentation.
All right. So good afternoon, Rotary Club of Nassau, right? Yes. It's a pleasure to speak to you guys again. I've spoken to you guys several times. I don't know if you guys remembered me in past conversations. I understand I have 15 minutes. I'll try to make it brief as possible and try to get straight to the point. But I understand also that the topic is supposed to be a topic on health and fitness in the summer heat, right? That's a broad topic. So I'm going to narrow it down to nutrition as best as I can. And I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm unable to share my screen to show you some information that I had on my iPad. But I'll walk through this. And in fact, I wanted to start a conversation on food itself. A little bit more about me because the bio was interrupted. I have my Master's of Science degree in Applied Human Nutrition from Oxford Brookes University. With that degree, I work with CG Atlantic Medical and Life in the wellness department. It's the ZEST wellness department. I partner with Janae Hanna. She's our corporate wellness coordinator in the audience. We lead wellness strategies for a lot of corporate companies. Now that sounds very unique. It sounds exciting, of course. It is a very exciting job. It allows for us to put on display our expertise, mine in nutrition, Janae's in athletic training, to broaden the horizons of educating Bahamians on how to be more healthier. And I definitely want to talk about food and nutrition today. I'd like to have that conversation with you. And first, I'd like to open up for a conversation with the general audience, the understanding of foods. When we buy foods, do you think it's important to buy foods locally, or is it better to buy foods abroad? Locally, that's definitely the way to go. The reason why we want to buy foods locally is because it allows us to save costs. A lot of times, the import cost, taxation, or transportation of these foods from foreign entities, whether Europe, Chile, South America, or the United States, and in some cases even Canada, causes the food costs to be a lot more higher. So in understanding healthier foods, we must first understand what is the most affordable means of eating healthily. Secondly, I want to advise you that when we buy foods locally, we are buying foods that are grown within the soil of our ecosystem. So it sets us up to have better nutrients. What I also want to advise you that is if you are buying foods from abroad, the transportation of those foods into the country also causes the foods to diminish in nutrition content. So although they're in vans and trailers and planes or ships, when they arrive in Bahamas, it doesn't have the nutrition content that we want when we consume the foods. So when you're eating your broccoli or eating your spinach and or mangoes or bananas that are imported from another country, we look at these foods, we see a very delicious fruit, a delicious vegetable, but in truth, the nutrition content may not be at its 100% viability. So it is very important, I stress this, for all those in the room, all those listening to my voice on Zoom, please try to eat locally grown fruits and vegetables as often as possible. Another important thing to advise you on is the understanding of organics. Maybe you're familiar with the word organic foods.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good much of us. And I know there's this growing sensation right now that when we eat healthy, it has to be organic. That's a myth, you know, not everything you consume should be organic or needs to be organic. Of course, if you have the finances to buy organic food 24/7 and everything being organic, then I say, by all means, do that. But if you're looking at a means of eating healthy, but also being financially responsible, then adapt to choosing certain foods to be organic versus others. So foods that we should consider to be organic. Can anyone list anything that you know should always be organic? Just short it
Fruits
out.
and vegetables.
Which forms of fruits and vegetables? Give me an examples. What's that? Poultry. Well, in a sense, yes. So when we buy poultry, we should buy free range eggs. We should also ensure that the cows or any form of livestock is able to eat vegetarian-based meals. And they also have the flexibility of going outside, stretching their legs, and not confined to a small space, because that stress allows those hormones to be passed on from those livestock into our bodies. But thinking more about fruits and vegetables and buying organic, can you list some fruits and vegetables you think that should automatically be organic? Automatic.
Lettuce.
Lettuce, yes, and that's an excellent example. Lettuce, anything grown in the soil, anything in close proximity to soil should always be grown organic, all right? Things like strawberries, lettuce, things that are low-hanging fruits. In some cases, it could be apples and oranges, depending on how low they hang down to the source of the root of the plant. In fact, as you find plants moving up and higher up, and they grow higher in the tree, less away from the ground, then there becomes less of a need to have organic fruits and vegetables. Berries, tomatoes, potatoes, also great options when considering organic grown fruits and vegetables. So things like pineapple, right? Not necessarily needing to be organic every time. In fact, Remember, the pineapple grows up. The insects are not always going to the pineapple. They may be lingering around the root area. So wherever pesticides and pesticides can be sprayed is where we want to make sure that those are more the organic fruits, where there's not direct contact with pesticides with fruits and vegetables, okay? So we want to be very careful in buying things like tomatoes, berries that have pesticides on them, because those pesticides, they are absorbed by those fruits and vegetables, and in turn, when we consume them, absorbed by the human body. So choose foods that are organic based on how they're grown so you can save money, all right? Now, another thing I want to raise to you is not only the understanding of local versus international fruits and vegetable consumption, and also organic versus non-organic, but also how to read a nutrition label. If there's anything that's going to get you through the summer month, in terms of keeping that waistline intact and keeping that summer body through winter, it's definitely understanding portion sizes and reading a nutrition label. Can anyone tell me, when reading a label, where should you start when reading a label? The portion size, yes, but more so the serving sizes is what you want to look at. You always start at the very top. You look at the amount of servings in your package. In some cases, when we have a bag of nuts, we will consume the entire nuts. And then after you look at the label, it's like, oh, that's 3 servings. So it's very important to look at the serving size so that you stay within range in terms of what you're consuming, so that you're not over at the end. All right. So first you start with the serving size, and you try to stick within that serving size so that you're not consuming. So if the serving size is, let's say, half of a serving, or if a package serves 2 people, try not to eat more than half of that serving for that particular package. It's good to understand nutrition labels, because when we prepare our own foods, there are a lot of ingredients that goes into making a meal. Let's think a sandwich. If you make a sandwich, that's automatically 2 slices of bread. 1 serving for bread is 1 slice of bread is actually 1 serving size. So you've actually doubled that serving size when consuming 2 slices of bread. Then let's think about the cheese that goes onto the sandwich, or the serving of mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, ham and turkey, and then even thinking the fruits and vegetables, slices of tomato, onions, and even spinach. So it's important to understand the serving size for every ingredient of everything you consume, because it adds up to the bigger picture in the end. Remember, when you consume that meal, that's only 1 meal. You're supposed to be consuming breakfast, lunch, and dinner regularly at the same times within the right portions. So don't overcome in 1 meal time and think that I'm going to make up in the other. In fact, it's best to stay within the guidelines so that you don't overconsume throughout the day. Going back to reading labels though, once you have done identifying the serving size or the amount of servings in that package, it is next most important to understand the difference of percent daily value. Percent daily value was established by the World Health Organization to keep us all within the guidelines, because there are limits in terms of how much sodium, sugars, proteins, fats, carbohydrates that we should consume on a daily basis. That's based on milligrams in most cases. And in fact, the percent daily value tells us, is it at 100% of what we're consuming, or is it at 0% of what we should be consuming? So of course, you don't want to get to the 100% mark for 1 item, because you'll be over consuming in that serving size, okay? Going down the label, you should start from top to bottom, and you should understand percent daily value in this concept. I treat it like a traffic light. Anything 5% or less is considered low, and is considered a green on the green traffic light, right? Anything between 6% daily value to 90% daily value is considered medium, that's yellow on a traffic light. What does yellow mean when we see it on a traffic light? It means caution or slow down. When we see a percent daily value that has reached 20% or more, we have to treat that like the red on the traffic light. What does red mean on the traffic light? Stop. It doesn't mean go. It means slow down or stop, or you've crossed the line you should not have done, right? So again, 5% or less is green on the traffic light. Any percentage or daily percentage of 6% to 19% is yellow on a traffic light, and a percent daily value of 20% or more is considered red on a traffic light. So for example, if you're reading the label and it says total fats is at 17%, is that good, bad, or average? Average. That's considered yellow on a traffic light. It falls within the 6% to 19% range, and that's average. What that means though is that you've already consumed, by consuming that package, and if you stick to the serving size listed, and it's at 17% total fats, by consuming that one serving, you've already exhausted 17% of the total amount of fats you're allowed to consume for that day. Which means if this is an appetizer and 17% fat is listed, what about the entree? What about dessert? What about the meals that will follow, and what will happen when you consume those beverages? So you have to be conscious of what is it that you're putting into your body. And I would express to you guys, I want to overemphasize to you that when wanting to be better with your nutrition, percent daily value and reading nutrition labels is one of the best things you can learn to advance yourself and improve your health. Again, a 5% daily value or less is considered low. I mean, it's green, go. Anything between 6% to 19% is considered yellow on the traffic light. That's average, so be careful. And then any percent daily value of 20% or more, sometimes they get up to 35 and 53%, especially when you read the Coca-Cola can. The sugar content is at least about 56%. So you ought to be very cautious. And that's for fats, this is for carbohydrates, this is for protein. Each of us will approach reading a label differently. Some of us have been diagnosed with hypertension. Some might have been diagnosed with diabetes. Some maybe want to improve muscle mass, and some may want to just lose weight. So for those wanting to lose weight, obviously they're going to look at fats first. The diabetic is going to look at sugars first. The hypertensive individuals always look at sodium first. And any male wanting to gain mass always looks at protein first, right? So it doesn't matter what you look at first, but it's always important to look at everything. And then beyond looking at everything, it's also important to look at those ingredients listed on the label, all right? Sometimes they're hidden ingredients. Sometimes it says 0 sugar or 0% daily value of sugar, but then you read the ingredients and there's fructose corn syrup, there's glucose, or some form of sugar agent involved in the process. So be aware of everything that you put in the body, all right? If you are aware of everything that you put into the body, you're easily able to steer yourself away from chronic illnesses and obesity. Now, I'll turn it over to you guys for questions. I think I've reached that point now. Any questions to me on nutrition? Any broad question you may have?
A while back, I did keto, right? And when doing keto, I was told to look out for fats, right? So they said, don't look at the low fat, don't look at the fat free, stay away from those type of foods, right? If you want to burn fat, right? I was taught low carb, high fat, and moderate protein. What is your recommendation?
That's a broad question. But I'll first start off by saying, as a nutritionist, and I don't think I met any Bahamian nutritionist in this country that actually subscribes to dieting per se, all right? When we think of diet, diet is the way we eat. It is not a limitation of eating certain things to achieve a goal. It is about eating any and everything, but the method in which you approach foods. Keto, the intermittent fasting, all those are considered diets and diet mechanisms in a sense. So it's not really heavily subscribed or recommended when wanting to influence persons to lose weight or be healthier. I'll start by saying that, all right? However, if keto is the thing you want to do, you've seen some success, you want some added advice, then it is important to monitor fats. Keto, the basis of it is to eat more high-fat diet, high-fat based diets, rather than carbs into that diet form. And that means eating heavy amounts of proteins and also eating what I would say polyunsaturated fatty acids or monounsaturated fatty acids. Those are sources of our omega-3s and our omega-6, and stemming away from fats like saturated fats or trans fats. And if you don't know what saturated fats are, saturated fats would be fats associated with animal protein. So if you have steak and it has a lot of fat, a lamb, which is a very gamey meat, a lot of saturated fats. And then trans fats would be fats that are processed in the lab. So potato chips that have a lot of grease on them, pretzels, those things would be saturated trans fats as well. So it is, I would say, if you are going to adapt to a keto diet and you want to make it successful for yourself, it is important to eat proteins, high protein sources, but lean protein sources. So things like chicken breasts or turkey breasts, all forms of fish, tuna, salmon, trout, those would be, I can't remember, halib, sorry, it's a Canadian fish, but those types of fatty fish are actually and mackerel, sorry, are predominantly the types of proteins you should be consuming when having a keto diet. But what we tend to miss when having a keto diet is eating fruits and vegetables with it. You know, they say no carbs, but we still need to have fruits and vegetables present. So either spinach with cherry tomatoes, or options of broccoli with carrots. You know, we have to not miss the fruits and vegetables when consuming a diet like a keto diet or any normal form of diet in itself. Okay, I hope that makes sense.
Vegetables or fruits that grow underground, like the potatoes or the soil vegetables or fruits, and eat more like leafy greens and stuff.
Well, definitely, when nutritionists suggest eating vegetables, they always point you to the green leafy veg. That's definitely the way to go. Those are superfoods because they have so many nutrients. They have proteins. They have first they have antioxidants. They have proteins. They have omega-3, sodium, calcium, and all the nutrients that we need to keep our metabolism kind of burning. So green leafy veg is definitely the way to go when consuming vegetables. But that does not mean that vegetables that grow under the ground, potatoes and carrots, sprouts, those things should still also be consumed. What about leeks grow from the ground? Or kale, they grow from the ground. We still need these, or beets, they are high carb sources, but we still need them in variety. So it's still important to have a variety in diet when adapting to any form of diet, okay?
I have 3 quick questions in the chat. Tamika, call Tamika Dean.
Tamika Dean, I hear you have a question for me.
I do have a question. First, I'd like to say your presentation was excellent. This is Tamika from the Insurance Commission, and so we on board together when you first started the program, and I'm so proud of you. Quick question is, how much exercise is required from a person, I guess on a weekly basis? I know some persons, they go crazy and they may go every day. But what is your suggestion? What is the minimum amount of exercise, and what type of exercise at minimum should one be doing?
Well, Tamika, I guess I'm a crazy person because I exercise every day, sometimes twice a day.
Yeah, I do think you're crazy though. I'm kidding.
Recommendations. The World Health Organization recommends that we, as normal, healthy individuals, should get a minimum of 30 5 to 6 days a week, right? 150 minutes a week. So that's what, 5 to 6 days a week, right? And in fact, if you're going to exercise for an hour, then you should exercise 3 to 4 times per week. All right. Now that's just for the normal, healthy individuals. That's not individuals who have been diagnosed with obesity or at risk of hypertension or diabetes or any form of chronic diseases. In fact, their recommendations for fruits and vegetable intake and their recommendations for regular exercise has to be enhanced. It should be more than the normal average for a healthy individual. So if you are healthy, you can get away with 30-minute exercise 5 days a week, or a 1-hour exercise 3 to 4 times per week. But for those unhealthy individuals, try to aim to have a little more. And we don't have to think about strenuous exercises. That's the next thing I want to point out. When we think of exercise, people always think of a long run or going to the gym. Those are very strenuous exercises. It doesn't have to be that. It could be a comfortable walk for 30 minutes. It could be standing in front of the TV and just doing knee ups for about 25 to 30 minutes. Or it could simply going in your pool or to the beach and having a casual swim for about an hour. Okay, so exercise is what you enjoy. For me, I love playing tennis. I don't think about it when I play tennis, but I encourage you to find a recreational sport that you can have fun and not think about exercise at all. All right, that could be golf, tennis, basketball, volleyball, and the list goes on. So the question is, does washing with vinegar and warm water help with pesticides? It definitely does. In fact, all vegetables or fruits, when washing them, you can buy washing agents from the food store, but the most cheapest form of washing agents for your fruits and vegetables to get rid of those pesticides would be warm water and vinegar, especially for your strawberries. So about 5 minutes, rinse them off, and then throw off that water, and you'll be good to go. Another question from the chat is, all right, so it's white rice, white grits, or white rice bad. All right, so when we think about carbohydrates, we should always get high fiber carbohydrate sources. So it should never be white rice, it should never be white grits, because these have been refined to remove all of the fiber content. What you don't know is that when you look at, I'm sorry, I don't have an image to show this to you, but when you look at the wheat grain itself, when it grows, it's actually like a nut. It has a shell or a shelling. And when farmers process it to make rice or grits or wheat, then they refine it to the point where they break it down and they keep it intact, or they strip away that outer shell, remove it, and then you create the white sauces. That's where we find our white rice, our white breads, and our white grits. When they remove that outer shell, not only are they removing the fiber content, they are also removing things like B vitamins and calcium, which are very, very effective at establishing a strong metabolic process. So stay away from white rice, stay away from white grits, and try to have more yellow grits, brown rice. And if it isn't brown rice, you can try basmati rice, which is almost, which is medium on the glycemic index, and still provides some form of fiber and some form of nutrients. Before we go, I have one more question. Sorry, I don't want to, it's this guy. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So we have a parking lot right afterwards, and if you stay behind, I almost call you Doc. Stay behind, you'll be able to entertain much more questions. And now, so Rotarian Gina, could you give a vote of thanks to our guest, please?
I certainly can, and I'm hopeful nothing happens with the internet this time. I missed out one important part of the bio that I wanted to highlight. Donovan Ingram, he was the wellness coordinator and championed the organization of a showcase with Deepak Chopra in 2017. I just wanted to highlight that part. So thank you, Donovan, for coming by to share with us the importance of nutrition and how to read labels and the importance of portion sizes and serving sizes and the benefits of buying organic and locally. So thank you so much for your time today. And you have a blessed day, and thank you again.
Thank you, Gina, and thank you, Rotary of Nassau.
Let's give him a round of applause again, another round of applause. Thank you so much, thank you so much. And then moving quickly along, because time has been past spent. Just moving, we don't have any raffle today, but of course we have some fines given out today. So those of you who do not have your Rotary pins on, some of you are here present and don't have your Rotary pins on. Make yourself known, please. Yes, of course, my friend. And of course, let's take a note so that we can give them their love notes. Thank you so much. Okay, then moving straight along, we have our four-way test now that will be led by Rotarian Yvette. Will you please stand for the four-way test? Rotarian Yvette.
Good afternoon, everyone. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and
Their friendship,
will it be beneficial?
beneficial or confirmed.
Will it be fun?
Will it be fun?
Yes. Thank you so much.
I think I knocked it in.
You're gonna do the.
Yes. To all Rotarians and guests who are here, along with those Rotarians who are there, let us join Rotarians everywhere in a toast to Rotary around the world.
Rotary around the world. Oh, thank you so much, Rotarian Yvette. Okay. Okay, those on our Zoom call, could you check the chat, please? From the flyer from the speaker and the message as well. So check that. And so with that, we wish to join our meeting. So this meeting stands adjourned. Now we move straight into the parking lot. And so those of you who have some questions for our guest speaker, please, this is the time now because we are not on the clock now. You could ask those pointing questions to our guest speaker. We'll entertain.
Oh, sorry, this is parking lot time. I thought it was outside in the parking lot. My apologies. Questions, I guess?
You could continue on with that.
All right, so I just also want to add that Martin did add a flyer into the chat. It speaks to our CG Zest Wellness resources. We have a website. It is www.cgzestwellness.com. And we also have a social media following, Instagram and Facebook. We do a lot of education through social media. So if you are on Facebook and Instagram, you can follow us at CG Zest Wellness. But our blog is very effective. It has a lot of great articles. In fact, one of the articles that I spoke to today was how to read a nutrition label. You can find that on our blog. We have a lot of other blogs like 9 ways to stay on top of your nutrition. And the blog covers topics not only on nutrition, but also sleep health, mental health, physical activity, and the list goes on. I have a question here. I spent many years from Tony Wallace. I spent many years selling Quaker grits. White grits are milled from white corn. Yellow grits are milled from yellow corn. Both are refined, but local grits from Cat Island. Very, very informative information. In fact, that brings me back to a story my mom told me when she was younger. When she used to go to Exuma with her grand aunt, they used to actually grow their own grits and refine the grits and grind it down with some machine. I don't know anything about this. I'm quite a millennial. I don't do those things. I buy it from the store. But it does sell the message that if we are growing more foods ourselves, we can be in better control of the foods we eat and how the food affects our body. Okay, so word of advice, try to grow more foods yourself than buying those foods from the grocery store if you can, okay? Any other parking lot questions? Water consumption.
Recommend adding clean water to supplement support.
So it's just for physical activity, right? So the question is, how do we hydrate before and after physical activity, right? Or during, right? So the rule of thumb, though, I know a lot of people like to jump for those Gatorades or coconut water right away. And the first thing is go back to reading the label, please. I encourage you, use that information about percent daily value as you consume just. But Gatorade is more so designed for athletes, and I say athletes very carefully. Athletes who exhaust a lot of water. So when you're sweating, a lot of sweating, then you need to replace those electrolytes. You can choose an electrolyte-based hydration, which can be Gatorade, but it's not the best choice because it has lots of sugars and sodium. My better recommendation is choosing coconut water, not the canned ones if you can't. If you can try to get it from a tree, from an actual coconut itself, would be the best option. But hydration should always be water throughout the day. but when you're sweating a lot, you need to replace those electrolytes and add in those the potassium back into your diet, and you can get that from pure coconut water for sure. Okay, or Pedialyte is also a very good hydration as well. Okay.
Chat, one moment. Can a person become waterlogged by drinking too much water?
So can a person become waterlogged by drinking too much water? You can. In fact, there's a theory in science where when cells are formed, well, all cells, they have water going in and out of the cell. In fact, if we overconsume water, we are causing the cell to expand, and when we overconsume, they can pop. It's called apoptosis. And that causes the cells to be destroyed. And that can also trigger a change in your metabolism as well. So you have to be very careful. I'm assuming the rule of thumb, well, not assuming, I'm recommending that the rule of thumb is you should try to have an 8-ounce cup of water within an hour. You can have a little bit more depending on the physical activity, but every hour try to have an 8-ounce cup of water. And you should aim to have no less than 12 glasses of water per day. That's 8-ounce cups of water, 12 glasses per day, okay? And that's not a waterlog.
Yeah. My question is, all of a sudden, this new fad came about with coconut water. I mean, every corner you turn on coconut water. You know why is that? Is industry just blowing up now?
Well, I think the question is, why is coconut water so popular? I think it's because it's so refreshing, especially in the Bahamas. The sun is so hot. You know, some people like to add a little spike to the coconut water, but I'm not going to get into that. But definitely, coconut water is recommended for persons who live in warm climates, who are sweating more often, because it does help, again, to replace those electrolytes. It should not replace pure water, though. In fact, if you are drinking coconut water, you should always try to have a limited amount of coconut water, not an excessive amount. I'd say maybe 2 to 3 glasses of coconut water per day maximum, but the remaining glasses of water should be pure water itself.
Yeah. Let's see, have a high potassium.
Potassium. And those of us who are been diagnosed with hypertension, sorry. That's because of excessive amount of sodium in our blood. So the way of counteracting the sodium in the blood is to increase your potassium intake from coconut water, white beans, bananas, mushrooms, and those sources as well, okay? So yeah, so in terms of reducing blood pressure, we do want to improve our potassium consumption, and high potassium consumption comes from sources like coconut water, bananas, white beans, and even mushrooms. Okay.
That's why everyone's drinking it. Really be able to hypertension.
Well, it could be that, but I think it's also because it's refreshing, more refreshing than water.
Yeah, that's why.
Recommend for obese kids.
And last question is, what do we recommend for obese kids? Well, we recommend the same recommendations as we would an adult. We got to get kids to start eating fruits and vegetables as early as possible so that they can continue having the same lifestyle later in life. So get very creative with them, make it colorful, make it exciting. In fact, also for obese kids, in terms of getting to eat those fruits and vegetables, make them assist in the preparation. So make it a game so that they are involved in the preparation of the food. So it increases their chance of consuming it. But again, ensure that they're eating fruits and vegetables and drinking more water and sugar beverages to reduce their weight later in life. Okay. All right. So lower end of the pressure, you just have to monitor your diet a little bit. I would say meet with your doctor regularly, manage the blood pressure, and there are no specific nutrition recommendations for a person with low blood pressure. That usually has some other underlying issues involved, but you still want to be able to eat healthy, and you want to make sure you're getting food sources like iron, calcium into the diet, and also drinking lots of water as well, okay, for blood flow. All right, I thank you guys. Thank you so much for your time, okay?
Good, beautiful. Thank you, thank you. I think we should had a very, very good fill. And this was very nutritionist today for us to have this meeting. We truly enjoyed it, and thank you so much, Speaker. Well, anyway, that ends our meeting today. ladies and gentlemen, and the fact that no one left. Normally in the parking lot, people leave. Yeah. So Rotarian Maxine is inviting us now to take a group photo. So if we can take a group photo with our guest speaker, we can gather to the forefront and take a photo as quickly as possible. So we can record it. Thank you so much. Okay. And we want to say bye and have a blessed day and a blessed week for those of you who are on our Zoom call. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.